Meek, you look like a devil.
I do. We do, right? I've got a couple comments that we are actually looking like devils.
Because of the glasses.
Yes.
Yeah. Now that I look at you, that whoever told you that, you look like a devil was right, because you do look like a devil. Maybe me too a little bit, but I think your glasses are a little bigger. I think you're more devil than I am. but yeah, let's get back to business. Let's get back to discussing 7 rules of success, or actually discussing why you shouldn't follow that subject lines. Why you shouldn't be following 7 rules for success by that particular person, because that person is not you. You should create your own rules for success, your own rules of success that are aligned with what you like to achieve in your life. And then, just choose the ones that makes the most sense for you, but you also, they have to be aligned with your goals. They have to be aligned with your personality. They'll have to be aligned with who you are, basically. So there's different rules for different people, and we should maybe discuss the rules that are important for us.
100%.
Like
100%.
Like there's a lot of super YouTube stars, and they have their own rules. There's Gary Vee, there's Michael Jordan, there's all those people. There's Logan Paul, so, and they all have their own rules for success. Logan's are like, scamming the most people that you can when you can. So he is scamming people when he can. So I don't think that should be the rule for like the rest of us. But we do have the rules that we came up with, right? We're just sitting in a I said shitting. we were sitting in this shisha place. We were smoking shisha and just talking about what we like to achieve, and in the future, what the journey can look like for us. And then there are several things that are important, several rules. I would say it's more than 10 rules. They all super relevant, but also it's difficult to follow all the rules. So we just basically follow some of them. What would be the one that is super important to you? Like, let's say that we want to put them in order. What would be the one that is the most important in your opinion?
It's very interesting what you were saying, right? And honestly speaking, we don't have only 7 rules. We have maybe 100 rules in some ways, right? But as you said, we need to prioritize which are the best ones. And I think from our conversations and what we're doing right now and what we want to achieve, I believe one of the most important rules for us is being 1% better every single time. Every single day, no matter what happens, you try your best to make one step at a time become better at what you do. And that kind of allows you to have that specific flow that can kind of take you on a right path to success. Right? Because you can't go from 0 to $1 billion. You can only go 0 to $10 and $10 to $100, for example, or even $10 to $20, right? You can't just, super rapidly become a millionaire overnight, or super rapidly achieve specific skills. It takes time. It's like a step. It's like, you're on the staircase and you're just walking up and down. There's specific bad situations, but then you keep strong and you go up, even just 1%.
And sometimes you even have to take a step back. So it's possible that you've been, accelerating in what you do, but sometimes there are things that happen then that they will set you back. Certain amount of money, certain amount of time. So yeah, being 1% better every time is actually the one that I wanted to say as the number one rule. But I do feel that there's another one that is as important, and that rule is I hope it's not, it's okay to say that don't be average. Basically, I think it's the difficult one to swallow, right? For a lot of people, and it's a little controversial because what does that mean? That means that you're better than the average, right?
Yeah.
But in some way, I think this is very important that if you accept being average in anything, are you going to achieve your goals? Maybe. But just not accepting that. Like, I never wanted to be average in anything. I always wanted to do a little more, to have a little more, do a little more, to have a little more. And that was always my goal. But, there's a lot of other circumstances. They have to all be aligned for you to be, a billionaire, a millionaire, in order for you to build a personal brand and get people to kind of understand and follow of what you say. So I think not being average is my number one, as you have stolen my number one.
So we'll keep it like here. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7, right? So we don't make this video super long. But yeah, I agree with you so much. It's like kind of competitiveness, right? You need to have that drive and the competitiveness in your mind in order for you to, want to be that, go further than that average, right? And it's pretty interesting. But you probably have more insights about that. But I think we should go to number 3 or number 2.
Oh yeah. We should. It's not to bore everyone to death, with explaining every single one, but more of maybe expressing, how we feel, about what we do. There's another one. But they are all mixed up because you probably will keep stealing my number ones and number twos. So I'm just gonna say the next one in line.
Sure.
Which would be The Magic of Thinking Big. This is actually based on a book that I have read, and this is the title of the book, The Magic of Thinking Big. And we could go into the details and talk about the book a little more, but I think what's the most important thing that I remember from the book is set your goals high enough so even if you fail, you still failed above average. So this kind of relates to the previous one that we just spoke about. Don't be average. That was the one. So if you set the goal super high, and most likely you will not reach that goal. In some cases, yes, you will be able to hit that magic number, the goal that you have set up that is super high. But even if you fail, even if you don't reach that, you will still end up being on a different level than the average Joe, let's say.
I like it. Think big. It needs to be very scary, right? Your goals have to be super scary, right? It relates to it. It has to be scary in order for you to kind of have that drive to it. But yeah,
maybe like scary, but they have to scare you, right? They have to be. They have this. Yeah, they have to be. They don't have to be like this. Is all like whatever rules that we put together, and they fit us. They fit our goals. They help us. I think they motivate us. Every single day to do what we do. But yeah, basically they have to be not scary, but they have to scare you. So whenever you think of it, you're like, you get excitement out of it, right? You get a little motivation, because if this is so big, you really need to work hard, to make it happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like
we
can just compare to like Elon Musk, right? he probably had more bigger, let's say, goals that he's achieved till now, definitely, and he achieved something. But that's for him just above average. Number 4.
That's the number whatever. I don't know what the number is. If you say it's number 4, it's number 4. It's this. We are both, sales professionals, I would say. And there's this sentence in I don't think it's valid anymore, but it would be like ABC, always be closing. It's a super old school approach, but the new approach is ABL, which is always be learning. I think this is super important because everything changes constantly, and we have YouTube. We have video courses, we have online courses, we have access to all that information. But what I see is not a lot of people are actually willing to take advantage of the fact that they have access to all the information out there, but they just simply choose not to do it for some reason. I don't know. It's lack of time. It's lack of motivation. It's lack of set goals. I mean, why would you do anything if you don't have a goal, right?
True. It's kind of connects to like curiosity, right? Always learning is kind of, you need to be curious in order for, you need to be curious in life. Just, you need to listen to other people. You need to start networking, meeting other like-minded people, meeting other like-minded, let's say, experts that you can learn from. And from that makes you just a better person and takes you on the right track to, for example, your own success.
And also, there was that one thing. I don't think we finally put it on the list, but or you took it off the list, I guess. I don't know why, but it was something like hire a 20-year-old to do your marketing if you're 40. if you're 40, hire a 20-year-old to do your marketing. If you're 20, hire a 40-year-old to do your marketing. Oh, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Just because the age difference, I'm almost 3 times older than you, right? That was a joke. Yeah.
No, you are 3 times. I'm like 10.
Okay. So there's a lot of things that are not, if you're getting older and you're not always follow everything that happens, technology, the social media, it's super difficult, if you don't follow it. If you don't have time, if you don't spend time in educating yourself, you're not going to be competitive, you're not going to be relevant. So
100%.
I think there was this study done in one of the Italian premium fashion brands. I think it was Gucci or whatever. I think they hired super young people, to kind of follow the senior people, and they made them work together, right? So they would learn from each other, and I think they were super successful because this is the connection that they were missing, between the real world right here, right now. Older people will have this tendency to look at things from their perspective, and then the people that are growing up right now, they are up to date with everything, right? So if you can build that connection between the younger and older generation, I think this is the way to succeed in business.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Basically, fashion, let's say you're a fashion designer, you're 40, 50 years old. You're not up to date. You can't keep track of, what the young generations want, right? Therefore, you're collaborating with that generation in order to curate something, for that audience, basically. And that's definitely a great strategy for Gucci. But
I don't know if it was Gucci, but one of them brands.
But let me say mine, because you've been saying yours, and it's ours, right? At the end of the day, it's ours. We're like-minded people. So, but for me, and I think it's for you also, is very important to surround yourself with like-minded people. I remember you said some quote from a book that, do you remember it, Paul?
Sure.
Can you say
you
it?
you are the average. It's gonna be my version of it, but yeah, you are the average of 5 people that you spend the most time with. And
Okay.
I think Timothy Ferriss said that, or somebody else said that. But it's a very common approach. And then if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. But you wanted to speak about this a little more?
Yeah,
About
just like,
having...
we're having a discussion, right? I believe, it's very important because, I give my experience, right? When I was young, I hanged out with, let's say I acted like other people. Let's say like I was just having fun, didn't care about anything, played around, made fun of people, for example. And that was life. Didn't study, didn't care about life, right? And the people you surround yourself, right, influence you as a person. And when I started to hang out with, for example, older people in the business world, start working, meeting new people, meeting CEOs, working closely with them, and etc., that kind of changed me as a person, right? And that's what I believe. If you hang out, there's a saying in Polish even, like, right? Once you hang out with people who, for example, are bullies or, let's say, drug dealers or killers, you're going to become them, right? And it's important for you, if you want to be on the right track to success, you need to surround yourself with the people that are in this specific, let's say, industry or specific specialization or whatever, and additionally are always better than you about, let's say, 1, 2, 3 levels up further. What I meant is, like, you have to always have to hang out with people who are further than you in life, who have achieved more. It's nothing bad, right? But at the end of the day, you're learning, right? If you hang out with someone lower than you, will not learn. You will teach them, and that's great also, right? That's also a good collaboration. But you also have to have that all in between, right? I don't know. What are your thoughts around that?
I like it. No, it all makes sense. Sometimes I think that this is super obvious, but then I'm thinking maybe not, right? Because if you are under a bad influence, like if you're hanging out with people that are doing crazy things, illegal things or whatever, you don't necessarily get to see that, right? You are a part of, and you slowly absorb their ideas, their thoughts, and then you become one of them, and it's terrible, if you do that. On the other hand, if you are among the right people, right, and let's say they are, you can learn from them, right? So they are, like you said, on a different level, right? So you can hang out with them and you can become more like them. And I think it makes a lot of sense, in theory, and it makes a lot of sense if you do it. But sometimes it's very difficult to take that step and make it a reality, right? Choose the people that you want to hang out with. It happens. I'm sure it happened to you. It happens to me that, with time we are all evolving. Like, you're evolving, I'm evolving, other people are evolving. And sometimes you just have to say goodbye to some of the friends that are not evolving, right? Sometimes you have to say goodbye because you have plans and goals and whatever, and you want to achieve something different than the group of people that you're hanging out with. Then, it's time to just say goodbye if you're ready. If not, you hang out with them and you will become similar to them. You will not
100%
choose your own path in a way.
Life is an experience, right? You need to do this, do that, do that. You have to do multiple things. You need to meet a lot of people. You need to start going on that right track, but you never know what's going to be there forever. There's a lot of people that they're a great fit, and they're people who are not a great fit. And during that experience, you're going to discover that, right? You just have to do it. You have to be curious. I think one of the our last, let's say, rule, right? Curiosity. which is connected with everything, right? You need to be curious in order for anything to happen. If you're not curious and you're, let's say, you're like so stubborn and you're going to be like, oh no, I'm not going to do this. It's not for me or something. You need to get out of your comfort zone. Try doing it, because once you get into that flow, you will never know. You'll be like mind blown, because, you know, just giving out back to the experience, my experience, I would never think in my life that I would be on a podcast with you just talking and not caring, like enjoying my time, or even going on a stage and speaking to people. If you looked at me when I was in school presenting a presentation, I was like, you know, I'll be honest, right? But it's because I was stressed, but you have to go out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I guess if you practice something, you are getting better at it, right? So I think that's the other one worth mentioning. But just to sum it up, I think there's one more that is very useful, especially in business. And it's the sequence of tasks, let's say. Plan, do, check, act. It's just a very well-known methodology of you know, approaching solving problems, issues that you're facing, or implementing new strategies, implementing new ways of doing things, or also it's good for project management. So plan, do, check, act. So plan something, then do it for some time, then check if what you're doing actually gets you closer to your goal, and then you can always you know, iterate and just keep going with like small steps. Because let's say that you have this plan to, you know, lose 50 pounds by the end of the year, right? You have basically 2 days to do that, because it's already almost the end of this year. No, but let's say that you have this plan to lose 50 pounds. And if you don't have those small steps, you know, put in place, or you're going to wake up in December 24th and be like, shit, I didn't do it. I didn't lose 50 pounds. So if you divide it into smaller steps, you can actually, you know, have like a checkup point every week. Yeah. And you're like, okay, I'm going somewhere. Then your motivation increases. Then if you think you're losing weight and you are actually gaining weight, then you can look at it and you can actually manage it. And this is also what Peter Drucker said, that you cannot manage something that is not measured. So if you have this goal to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year, you should, you know, have those small steps that you check every single week. You check every single week where you're at, and if what you're doing actually helps you to lose weight, or it doesn't change anything, or it actually makes you gain weight. If you set it up this way, if you do plan, do, check, act, you know, through the year, then you'll not be surprised, you know, in December that you were unable to lose the weight. You will know that it's the same thing with like sales plans or everything. You have this plan, the target you have to hit, and then if you divide it into smaller steps and you keep doing through the year, and you wouldn't be stressing at the very end of the year and be like, yeah, now I have to do so many things, I have to work so much. But you knew that, right? You knew that.
I do know that.
At the beginning of the year, but you didn't stress out about it. If you divide it into smaller steps, you would be probably more effective.